This is ON, AM, and FM.
WOON, Woonsocket.
Good morning, and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Okay, it's Coffee Ann time. Once again, here on ON Radio. It's Thursday morning, October the 16th. We're halfway through the month of October. Everybody ready for Halloween?
Absolutely.
Oh, good for you.
Went out and bought the candies.
That's Bob Lauder. How are you,
morning.
Bob?
Good.
We had a story last week, and let's see if you're the average American.
Oh, I'm average as you.
I know where you're going with this one.
There's Sue Tester McKenzie. Hi, Sue.
Good morning.
And John Ward's here, too. Hi,
Good
John.
morning, everyone.
All right, the story, the average American has to buy their Halloween candy 3 or 4 times per year so it will last until Halloween because people are eating it at home. And they end up eating all of it, and then they go out and buy more. Are you that kind of person?
Unfortunately, not. No.
Well, that's good.
No.
No, it is good because it's so expensive.
I don't know why people, Halloween candy I saw popping up starting in August.
Right.
I said, I don't know why people are buying it so early.
They bought it so they could eat it.
Well, we'll stop doing that.
I'm halfway with that one because I don't have children that want to climb up 3 flights of stairs to get candy.
Oh,
so
okay.
nobody comes to my house, okay?
Well, then there's
I
no
was
reason to buy
literally
any.
dropping it down one year off the we had
Oh, she's throwing it at kids.
Oh,
It's
it
raining
was
candy.
right. We had all the, we were outside doing, grilling,
I
and
love that
we had
idea.
the torchlight.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to walk into the backyard. But anyway, so when I do my grandchildren's little goodie bags, I slowly buy stuff.
Uh-huh.
And those little Reese's pumpkins do not last. I do have to go buy more of the Reese's pumpkins.
So you're the average American.
I'm an
Okay.
average American, I guess.
John?
No. We buy candy once for Halloween for the distribution.
I tend to buy it on
You're
the 29th.
supposed to buy what you
That's
don't
it.
like. That's the key.
That's true.
I with the price of candy being what it is and the rip-off, I think it
Yep.
is, frankly, my wife hates it, so we don't do it because she prefers to give out the good stuff. I've always been a big fan of buying that giant bag of Smarties.
I was just going to say, oh, that's the bad candy. Because as a kid, no one wants that.
I love Smarties.
Oh, do you? Oh, all right.
Absolutely. I was a big fan of Sweet Tarts, too, so...
Well, you're
you
the
go.
only one, I guess.
So to me, Smarties are great.
As a kid, you wanted the Reese's and the
just a
Snickers and the
sugar
Milky
tablet.
Ways and the Three Musketeers.
Now, if the three of us show up at your house
Yeah,
in costume,
yeah.
what are you going to be giving to us?
Well, I haven't decided. We haven't. It's way too for us. It's way too early to buy. So
It's 2 weeks away, man.
That's way too early.
Because then
Halloween's-
they will eat it
We'll
and
eat it.
become an average American.
That's
Right
right.
now,
Then we'll have
they're
to go back
above
and buy.
average.
That's right.
Okay,
So
We'll buy it.
I'll go buy
We'll
them the
buy it
29th and the 30th.
during that week. We will.
Yeah,
buy it.
that week you go out and buy. There's
What?
there's no reason to buy it right now.
My wife and I went and bought it at CVS over the weekend, 200 candies.
Yeah.
And my wife is great with coupons, and she had all the discount coupons.
Well,
and the,
all right.
The
all right.
original price came up to something like $93 for the candies. And by the time she...
$93.
Yeah.
It's so
By
expensive.
the time she finished with the coupons,
What'd it come down to?
we paid like $23. It was amazing.
Wow. Well, that's pretty good savings right there, Bob.
It's
All right.
fantastic.
All right.
I
Well,
just want to take her next time I have to buy a car.
but now you can't eat it though. Okay, you gotta. She's gotta hide it in the house. You don't know
However,
where it
if
is.
you want to venture into Walmart, you will find
Rows
some
and
candy
rows.
left right as you walk through the door on one side, but the entire summer garden section is completely filled
It's
with
just candy?
Christmas.
Oh, Christmas. Okay. Well, I mentioned that on Tuesday, and a Merry Christmas to everyone, because the very first Christmas TV commercial came out. I saw it on last Friday for Home Depot. It showed a group of people having a Christmas party. You could tell. Tree was lit in the corner. They were all sipping eggnog. They said Happy Holidays from Home Depot.
Oh, stop it.
It has started. Started before, just
No,
slightly
that's-
before
no,
Columbus
no,
Day
no,
weekend.
no.
But that started, Sue. Sorry.
Now, are you inviting the three of us to the big Christmas
mean,
party you traditionally have here?
Oh, sure.
I mean, wishing somebody. No,
I guess we're not on the A list.
I'm still stuck on Happy Holidays from Home Depot.
Oh, well, that's what they
I
said,
mean,
so.
I get having to bring things out, especially, I think it's probably worse this year more than ever because I think so many people are afraid of increases pricing and, buy it while it's on sale and all that
right,
good stuff,
yeah.
whatever. But to say Happy Holidays in October is utterly ridiculous.
It was a Christmas-themed commercial already. So there you go.
Wow.
All right, moving on to other fun things. I don't know if Bob has heard about this, but John and Sue maybe you have, because we brought it up yesterday, and it's Donald Trump is still on the I wouldn't say warpath, but he's still doubling down on. I'm thinking of moving the World Cup out of Massachusetts, and I think he's just blowing hot air. Have you heard about this, Bob?
I haven't heard about it, no.
Okay.
But what kind of authority would he have to do that?
Well,
Isn't
because
that-
he's the president, and he thinks he can do whatever he wants.
None.
Well, he actually said, "I'm going to call FIFA,
Yeah.
the soccer organization, and says and demand that they move it."
He can exert pressure.
Yes,
But FIFA already has solid contracts
Yeah.
signed
Well,
and in
that's what I was
place for the whole
thinking.
thing across the country,
Yeah.
across the world.
And we
They
can't
have
just
contracts
move
with all
it.
the cities. They have contracts with all the stadiums. He has no legal authority. All he can do is make a lot of
I
noise.
really
and
want you to move it.
Either threaten them or try to bribe them.
Yeah, but the games are being played in Foxborough at Gillette
Okay.
Stadium, where the Patriots play.
In July of next year.
And I'm thinking, Bob Kraft is really good friends.
With practices in Pawtucket, possibly.
Yes, and Bryant University.
Yep, that
Wow.
one. That one's a
That's
definite.
good.
The other
Is
one
it?
is still questionable.
Cool. But Bob Kraft and Donald Trump are tight. They're really good friends. So I can't see why Bob hasn't picked up the phone and called him and says, "Do you understand where Foxborough?" Because Trump was upset because they had that thing going on in Boston where they were jumping up and down on the police cars a couple of weekends ago.
And I can almost hear the response. Well, Don, I tried, but my kid lost the primary.
That's right. She dropped out. That's right. But Bob's going to point out where Foxborough is in relation to Boston. It's quite a ways. It's a sleepy little town in south central Massachusetts. I don't know if he's thinking, well, maybe teams are staying and fans will be staying in Boston. We want them to be safe. Well,
Don't look at me for a responsible answer on this one.
okay, give me an irresponsible one then, Bob.
Yeah, right. Let's be irresponsible. That's not what we usually do, Bob.
I'm just surprised that
Bob, say something sarcastic.
Right.
I'm just
I
surprised
think of
he's.
something on this one. No,
I'm just surprised that Trump is still on it and go. What is he
Well-
trying us not to take a look at? Why are you still harping on this?
I
when it's
was
so
thinking
far
the same
away?
thing. Why are we? I don't know. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's dumb too.
Yeah.
It's because Trump is using the excuse that those kids, two of whom were from Rhode Island, that were arrested.
One from Cumberland.
One from
Yeah.
Cumberland,
Right over the line.
turned the city of Boston into a something of a war zone for
Yeah.
a night and destroyed property, police vehicles, and such. And he's using that as the excuse that Boston is no longer a
It's
safe
safe.
city, and therefore they should move the games away from the Boston area. because
That's why I
it's
was
not
saying he's
safe.
got to look at a map, see
Right.
where Foxborough is in relation
Well,
to where Boston
but
is.
he's not looking at it
They're
that way. He's
trying to
looking-
bring in troops to quell the situation.
He didn't say
Like
that.
no, but he's
just
done
saying
that in
move-
other cities with
yes, he has.
similar lack of substance in fact be on the part of the cities.
Do you hear about what happened with the ICE car in Providence a couple days ago?
No.
A car crashed into it
Bob, do you
at
watch
the intersection.
news?
Last time I opened
Just
a newspaper,
asking. I'm sorry.
A
last time I
newspaper.
opened a newspaper, I saw that the Hindenburg had
Oh
exploded.
well, that's true.
No,
so-
I said watch news on TV.
and ICE.
Television?
Yeah,
What's that?
this the flickering box, Bob. Okay,
Thank you.
No, it's on Chalkstone Avenue in Providence, and an ICE agent, which I did hear had his lights on, and I don't know, the light went green for somebody else, and
Well, what's
He
what's
just
happening?
went and crashed into
what's
the ICE
happening
car.
now across the country is that local groups who are anti-ICE are now voluntarily sitting outside in their cars, sitting outside of courthouses, schools, hospitals, and such, and they have come to recognize ICE vehicles. And so when they see an ICE vehicle hanging around courthouses and stuff, they make it known to those ICE officers that they are aware they're there, and we're
Okay.
going to bring down the protesters. And so the ICE officers occasionally will simply leave, and their intent is to keep ICE from getting to the courthouses to gather up the criminals. So yeah, probably one of these people got a little zealous and decided
Well-
they were going to stop them and hit them.
I don't know about that because
Or
what
accidentally.
I read, Bob, is that the driver of the car, not the ICE car, the other car, was not cited, was not arrested, and just it seems
Just a pure accident.
accident. But it does look like he ran a red light
Well, when I saw
or a stop
Rep-
sign, whatever's at that
when
intersection.
I saw Rep Morales, who was running for mayor of Providence, put his Twitter post on, he made it seem as if the ICE vehicle was out ramming cars and abusing
I know,
people.
and that was not happening.
because
so.
he's a jerk, but that's just his nature.
All right, so moving on to other
how,
things.
How do they identify the ICE cars?
Well, they're all the same. These big
They've
Chevy
actually
SUVs.
started recording their registration plates, and they're all the same vehicle. They're all
The Chevy Navigators?
Chevy Navigators. Yeah,
Big, huge
No, that's a
SUVs.
Ford. Ford's a Navigator. Chevy
Is it? Oh,
Chevy is the Escalade, I believe.
okay.
That's a
Whatever it is.
Cadillac, I think.
They're easily
Yeah,
identified
Escalade's
vehicles.
Cadillac.
And they're
Good one, Bob.
unmarked, and they've started people around the country. Like I said, the volunteers who are going to make sure that ICE doesn't do its job have started recording registration plates and putting them on. They're on
Oh, okay.
group chats, and so they'll put out there they've identified a vehicle and they're here, and we need to protest and get in their face.
All right, Bob.
Civil disobedience.
Yeah, this is not up your alley for your law, but too bad it's not because you could probably make some decent money over here.
Okay, what's this one?
Out a Burrillville man had his hunting privileges suspended. He's accused of poaching. How about that? Poaching in
Right?
in Rhode Island.
What
Yeah.
exactly is he?
I don't have it. They don't have his name in the story. I really wish they did, but they don't. But it just says a local man. So a Burrillville man has hunting privilege suspended after an investigation into illegal poaching by the Rhode Island Environmental Police that lasted nearly a year. All right. According to a post on social media from the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management, the DEM said environmental police first began investigating after an officer found a tree stand, a game camera, and a large pile of corn in the woods. You can't set this stuff up to go when you go hunting. Feeding or baiting wildlife is prohibited in Rhode Island.
All right.
It's got to be a little more sporting than that. As a result of the investigation, a Burrillville resident was arrested when he was found, quote, actively hunting over bait, unquote. The DEM said a research revealed he had also illegally killed a deer in Gloucester. Environmental police charged the man with multiple violations, including baiting deer, hunting without a tag, and obstructing an officer. So he lost his hunting privileges for a year, had all his hunting gear seized, and he's got to pay a $1,000 fine.
Okay,
They also confiscated the deer.
and they got one in Rehoboth due
Yes.
to photo
Yeah.
and or video, not sure which, on his phone of another guy doing the same thing in Rehoboth.
Wow.
They're going to use the deer for educational purposes. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do
Yeah,
that,
right.
but all right. The search of the Burrillville man's phone led to environmental police to charge and fine a Rehoboth resident for hunting without a license or tag. His cell phone and muzzle loader, I guess that's for the gun,
Yeah.
were confiscated. Hunting licenses and permit fees are vital for funding wildlife restoration efforts. This is the DEM saying. Poaching depletes our state's natural resources and steals opportunities from hunters who follow the regulations. If you suspect poaching, you should call 401-222-3070.
Muzzle loader. I'm not familiar with weapons at all, but I
certain
thought
seasons for hunting in Rhode Island, they only allow muzzleloader, which is basically like
the old-fashioned way years
the
and years
old-fashioned
ago.
way. Yes,
I didn't realize they,
it's a
they
single
still
shot.
sold
It's a single shot
firearms.
weapon. Yeah,
Wow.
I know somebody who does go out hunting with a
I
muzzleloader.
wasn't aware that was still
Successful.
Does he
a
find
weapon.
He finds that more entertaining to do
It's
it
just
that
another.
way?
It's another means. I mean, you
Okay.
go up to Maine, and there are seasons for you can only do bow hunting
Yep.
in some seasons.
All right.
Without guns, so they're out in the woods with arrows, shooting at things, and there's all kinds of times. I think the muzzleloader is just simply something that protects from having bullets flying outside of a reasonable range because
Okay.
we're such an urban state. Maybe it doesn't allow
The velocity
the bullets
wouldn't
to
be
go
the
through
same.
somebody's house
Okay.
a quarter of a mile away if
All
they
that,
miss.
all that buckshot that goes out and spreads out left to right. Yeah.
The thing I find interesting about this is if you have a big enough piece of property in Burrville and you are out hunting on your own private property.
It doesn't say he was on it.
No, I'm not
was on
saying
his
it
own
is. I'm just
property.
wondering if those rules really still
Apply?
apply
On your own.
and whether they can control it, whether you even need a license to hunt on your own property if you have a big enough piece of property.
Bob.
I'm sure he doesn't.
I have no.
Something to
Not
look
up on the hunting
into.
laws.
I wouldn't expect
Something to look
he would
into,
know
Bob.
already.
I know.
It's-
All right.
You're going to warn me ahead of time.
It's
so
an
I can,
obscure little question.
Yeah, really. Okay, we got to take a break here on the Coffee and program. More coming your way. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240. We thank you for joining us here on the Coffee and program.
ON Radio. Let's check the entertainment at Chan's Fine Oriental Dining here in Woonsocket. Bad Intentions is the name of the act tomorrow night, October 17th, from 8 to 11 p.m. At Chan's, they have excellent rock cover band playing all your favorites. Bad Intentions, 15 in advance, $20 at the door. Then, on Saturday night, October the 18th, Monster Mike Welsh. Yes, Monster Mike's rocking the house with his own signature brand of blues guitar. 30 in advance, 35 at the door. And while you're there, be sure to avail yourself of Chan's yummy Polynesian and Chinese food at Chan's Fine Oriental Dining, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket.
Oh no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON AM and FM.
It is Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder, Sue Tester McKenzie, John Warden. Sue, forgot to give you a warning. It's time for a message from Blackstone
That's
Valley
you're gonna love.
Times.
You're gonna love my message. Here I am
Good.
complaining about the happy holidays. I don't complain about having holiday items in stores, nor do I complain about my having to approach you shortly, soon, coming up, with regard to your holiday
Advertising.
budgeting,
Yeah.
advertising. And the reason we do early is you cannot be bothered as we get closer. You're
Yeah.
busy. And therefore, we do work on that early. So I will be working on those programs very shortly. In the meantime, if you have any questions or would like to participate in any of our daily, weekly specials, you can give me a call on my cell phone at 401-487-4136. And all I'm going to say is, happy Thursday. That is as far as I go.
All right, very good. Now, Sue looked it up about
Of course.
because John asked the question about hunting on your own private property in the
I
state of Rhode
know the
Island.
answer, and Sue
and do you
did the
need a
research.
license? And Sue, what did you find out?
Okay. It says you cannot hunt on your own property in Rhode Island without a license, except under very specific circumstances. Rhode Island law requires a hunting license for almost all hunting activities, but it includes a specific exemption for bona fide residents to hunt on their own land used exclusively for agricultural purposes. You must still comply with all other hunting regulations, such as tagging requirements and season restrictions.
All right. So there you go, Bob. Now you know.
It's always good to have someone who does the research. By
And I
the
was-
way, did you see that Sue's glasses rims also match what she's wearing?
You know what? I just noticed that.
Oh, that wasn't done on purpose?
Well, my black
my
one's
goodness.
broke. I have black frame glasses that broke, and then these were the ones I grabbed out of my drawer in a pinch, and I'm like, oh, they match.
I thought it was
Surprise.
coordinated on purpose and just went with how Sue
Oh, let's
always
make it
comes in
clear. I
gray.
do coordinate my glasses with my clothing, but a black or gray would have been sufficient with this. Those just happen to be pretty much the same pattern.
John, do you coordinate your glasses with your clothing?
No.
No, when you only
I
have one
coordinate
pair.
my glasses with my wallet, as in the cheapest I can possibly get.
Oh,
my
and
hands
these right here are only $5.
on. Oh,
All right.
$5 sunglasses. I mean, come on,
They look great.
right?
One of the other hunting things I wanted to bring up to Bob, and I know it's probably true in Rhode Island too, but up in Maine and New Hampshire, probably Vermont too, it's illegal to hunt while you're sitting in your truck. You cannot sit in your truck, wait for the animal to walk by, then break the rifle out and shoot the animal while you're sitting inside your truck. It's illegal. It's got to be a safety issue of some sort.
I can tell you hunting. Maybe I've told this before. If I have, you can always stop me. Hunting story from Maine. This goes back gazillion years because it was when my dad was probably in his early 20s, and he and his cousin used to go hunting. My dad wasn't as big a hunting fan as his cousin was, but this is the early 1930s. They're up in Maine. They're driving along in the dark in the car, probably a Model A or something. My father's cousin sees this big buck off in the distance.
All right.
Slam on the brakes, stop the car, pulls out the rifle. It's late at night, fires. Buck goes down. Lights come on in a house nearby. Father's cousin says, let's get out of here. They did. Next day, they go into town. People are talking. What was the idiot who shot the buck in the game warden's yard?
Oops.
Right? That's funny.
Did they ever get caught?
No.
Wow.
It's one they left
Let's,
behind.
Statute of
Wow.
limitations is off.
Well, it's done,
Good.
right? And let's just leave Maine before not talk about anything.
Wow.
Game warden.
Wow, that's
good.
talk about that's bad timing.
Right?
It's a great story. All right, Bob. It keeps happening, and you got to wonder why. But down in Dartmouth, Massachusetts, man accused of attempting to smuggle cocaine into the Dartmouth jail. These are our Darwin winners for today. All right.
There was
Wile E.
an article-
Coyote,
There was an
super
article on the
genius.
news
Yeah.
about someone who was a guard at I think it was a jail down in Florida, and he was fired because he was smuggling in something like fried chicken wings to.
We had
some
that
of the-
story. Yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah.
I don't know if they were. It was. Oh, was it someone that worked at the jail? But anyway, yeah. Someone was bringing in spicy chicken wings into the intake center, and they had to fire him
Yes.
because you can't do this. And someone asked him, were they boneless or not? Well, I don't know. But yeah, you can't do this kind of stuff. So it's
Trying to smuggle cocaine into the prison, I would
Yes.
imagine that
into the Bristol County Jail,
the
which is in Dartmouth.
one of the prisoners must have passed or occasioned money to go to this individual to do it, and he thought it was worth taking the risk for the money. But
According to the Bristol County Sheriff, Paul Hero, said on Tuesday that Raymond Molina Caraballo, 28, has been charged with trafficking cocaine, possession with intent to distribute cocaine, and delivering drugs to a prisoner. The investigation began last month when the Bristol County Sheriff's Office received word that a former inmate who had warrants out for his arrest planned to intentionally turn himself in so he could smuggle drugs back into the jail. Well, there's a smart person
Wow.
right there. Investigators learned
Yeah,
on
but
August...
it's easier to smuggle the cocaine than the chicken wings.
I think so. You can really smell the chicken. Who's got chicken wings? Investigators learned on August 25th that Molina Caraballo was at the New Bedford District Court in connection with those arrest warrants and had been ordered held without bail. He was then searched thoroughly as soon as he arrived at the Bristol County Jail by correctional officers who discovered he had more than 11 grams of suspected crack cocaine and nearly 26 grams of suspected powdered cocaine on him.
I don't know
The
how.
risk is bigger than I guess it's worth it. The risk.
The reward is worth the risk.
rewards, yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
And if I get caught, well, all right, a couple of months in jail. But maybe they're getting some real money on the outside. I don't know. It's not something I would do.
I wouldn't think that would be a lifetime plan on
No.
vocation.
All right. It's right up there with super genius that John said. And we had the story yesterday. It's about the guy in Westerly who decided to go windsurfing during the storm on Monday.
What?
Yeah, he was down right on the Connecticut Rhode Island line. Decided to go out onto the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, look at the waves! Look at the wind! I'm gonna pick up some good speed. He had to be rescued, hoisted onto a boat. So they had to pick him up out of the water and drop him down. He's gonna be okay. He doesn't have life-threatening injuries. But some things you should just know not to do. You don't go windsurfing in a nor'easter.
Right.
I mean, just
Maybe it was paparazzi trying to get a picture of Taylor Swift.
What? Just her house?
Right.
I don't
If you
no,
have
I
to
don't
think
know.
twice or 3 times or 4 times about doing something,
Yeah, but it's
Maybe they
also-
didn't.
go with the initial. They had to.
I don't know.
They had to.
Well, the bad
Come
part,
on.
of
Let's
course,
not be
is-
that stupid, people.
Oh, you would be.
Oh, I'm not
surprised.
surprised. That's what's so sad.
But the
I'm
bad
not.
part is they're endangering the people who are trying to rescue them from
Right.
the situation they voluntarily placed themselves into.
Yes, because they're out on the high seas dealing with the waves and the wind and the rain.
I mean, think of all the politicians and the millions of people around the world that think that Hamas is actually going to surrender their weapons.
Oh,
No, I don't. Yeah, doesn't.
Can you be that stupid?
Unbelievable.
They gave back all the hostages,
So?
all the 20. Although I hear they're still waiting on bodies. But what does that do, John?
I subscribe to the Free Press because it's a bunch of journalists who used to work in the mainstream press and realize that it's so slanted they can't. So they write objective articles. And basically, an analysis I've seen in the last 2 days has to do with the fact that Hamas, within 24 hours of turning back the hostages, started going out and killing Palestinians that they were accusing of conspiring
I've
with
heard that
Israel
yesterday. Yes.
and consolidating their power again now that the people are moving back into Gaza City and the rest of the area. And the neighboring countries have no interest in letting them into their country because they think they're all crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And Hamas is going to consolidate its power. They're going to kill their own people.
And start
they're going
over?
to sit back and wait.
Okay.
And they're going to wait until they can rearm,
Mm-hmm.
get more missiles and things, weapons to fire into Israel. And then maybe after Trump's gone or in enough time, they're gonna do something like lob a missile into Israel
Again and start all over?
Israel will
Fire back.
potentially retaliate, and the world will call Israel evil because that's what the world does. And Hamas will be back in power, looking for crazy people to throw money at them, and there are plenty around the world. And the war will continue.
Bob, any thoughts on that?
I don't know
It's
if
a-
it's going to be as deliberate as John thinks it is.
Okay.
But I think that the situation over there is very unlikely to be solved in a reasonably quick manner. I don't think that Israel is likely to say this particular portion of the country, Gaza, is going to be independent on their own. And I'm not sure what Israel's real plan
Well,
is.
Israel did exactly that in 2005. They said, and they literally moved, they forcibly moved any Israeli or any Jew out of Gaza in 2005, forcibly. They literally dug up any grave that had a Jewish person in it and moved the bodies back into Israel, and they left Gaza entirely clear for the Gazan residents to do with what they wished and establish their own governance. And they did. And 2 years later, they elected Hamas. And here we are.
Well, it looks to me as though Hamas is not so much a organized military such as the United States or Israel, as opposed to a lot of people with weapons who have the same general desire of chaos, similar to maybe the people who are running riot in Haiti, where you can't get the organized military to just suddenly surrender, such as they did in World War II with the German
it
army.
doesn't- that's not how it works
You don't
these
have
days.
that kind of control over the Hamas warriors. They're more on their own and
It's tribal.
amongst the population. And I don't know how Israel or anybody is going to be able to separate Hamas from the members of Hamas from that particular region and having power there.
Well, we got to take a break, John.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
So hold on to that thought for just a second
Why?
here. Or forget it altogether. I don't care.
But forget it all together and move on.
Move on.
Oh, it's
All
my
right.
turn. I'm
Sue,
moving
yes,
on.
time for another message from the Blackstone Valley Call-in Times.
Again, good morning. Be prepared. We will be releasing all the winners of our Community Choice Awards. That will be next 25th, which I believe is Friday, or could be
October
Thursday.
25th is a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. Well, that's when it's going to be in the paper then, on Saturday,
I
even
see.
better. So there will be a special pull-out tab section. For those of you that did not check or that did not know that they won, which has happened because there are hundreds and hundreds of people that I needed to contact. I may have missed you. I did not miss you if you came in first place. However, you can just give me a call if you have any questions at 401-487-4136. Again, that will be a special pull-out section in next Saturday's paper, October 25th.
All right, Sue, thanks. And it's time for the forecast right now, being sponsored by Compassion International.
Sunny and cool today with a high near 54 degrees, a breeze in the north up to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear skies, overnight low of 39. Friday's weather, sunshine and 61. Saturday, sunshine and 63. Sunday, mostly sunny and 68 degrees. Monday, it starts clouding up, only partial sunshine, 64, with a 60% chance of a shower. Tuesday, less of a chance of a shower, partial sunshine and 64. And Wednesday, not much of a chance of a shower, partly sunny, high of 63.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street under mostly sunny skies, we have 45 degrees. Imagine a child in extreme poverty waiting over a year to be sponsored, and their wait today. Become a Compassion sponsor. Text radio to 83393.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
ON Worldwide.
It's Coffee N on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with John Ward, Sue Tester McKenzie, and Bob Lauder. And Bob, time for our first message from your law office, please.
Thank you. Good morning. Diana, I didn't write new ones this time. I went back into the files to get old ones. I'll try and do better in the future. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. Recently, you may have heard me talking about a case of the election between John Adams and Thomas Jefferson in 1804, the Marbury versus Madison case. And that old chestnut encouraged me to look at several other old cases which still have pertinence today, and which reflect upon the obligations of property owners for injuries suffered by people outside the limits of the owner's own property. The first case is that of Taylor versus Olson, and it took place in Oregon in 1978. Olson was the owner of land adjoining a public two-lane highway. The land was extensive, and Olson had been cutting trees and doing logging on about half of the land. Late on a dark and windy evening in January, the plaintiff, Taylor, was injured when the car she was driving struck a tree which had shortly before splintered and fallen across the roadway. The plaintiff sued the landowner, claiming the landowner's negligence in maintaining his trees abutting the highway violated his obligation to provide reasonable care to prevent unreasonable risks of harm to others. At the trial, the judge entered a directed verdict for the defendant. And that's a verdict wherein the jury never has a chance to deliberate the facts because the judge has determined that the issue that brought before them was not for consideration. The plaintiff appealed the verdict to the Supreme Court of Oregon. The Supreme Court contrasted the obligations of a homeowner with a few trees on their land to the obligations of an owner of a sprawling tract of woodland, and the practical difficulty that owner is continuously examining each of the trees. The court wrote, "The question is not so much whether or not the defendant had some responsibility to give his attention to the safety of his trees, but rather how far that responsibility extends." The court ruled that for the plaintiff needed to prove evidence that the defendant should have been on notice of the possible decay in this tree, and in the absence of notice of visible decay or the cutting through of the bark of the tree in a common manner, good Lord, someday I'll get these right. In the absence of evidence of visible decay, or that cutting through the bark of the tree is a common ordinary method of examining trees in general, the plaintiff could not prevail. I don't think the plaintiff would prevail in reading this commercial either. If you'd like to discuss legal matters with me where I'm not reading commercials, please give me a call. My telephone number is 401-762-4550. My name is Bob Lauder. And the disclaimer, the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license to certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
See, I
That
disagree with the
is some
judge.
awful big text over there, Bob.
I know. And
How many pages was that 32nd? 5? 3?
my first grade teacher, she was still around, would be crying, saying, I really failed in teaching that kid how to read out loud.
See, I disagree with the judge. I mean, if the tree falls in a storm, the tree fell in a storm.
Right. Well, the
So
judge.
if you're out driving in a storm, look out for trees in the road.
Well, that's basically what the final result was.
Well,
The judge was
okay.
saying you have a big tract of land. You can't be responsible for examining
Everything.
every single tree to make sure one doesn't fall. But if you had a house in the city and you have 2 or 3 trees in your yard, then you have a lot more responsibility of examining those and making sure one of those doesn't fall.
All right. I hate examining my trees.
You know, there was one across from my house that there were 2 large trees, actually more than 2, but 2 in question, that you could see the decay from working from the top down, and then every wind a big branch would fall.
fall
You know,
off,
like
yeah.
like the size of, you know, a truck type of branch. And this continued to happen for years. And so we've lived there for 30 plus years, and you would see this tree just, but sometimes they hit cars, sometimes they hit the sidewalk because the extension over.
Right.
That would have been they knew that tree was rotting. Anybody walking by could see that tree was rotting. But if that would fall and hit a car and cause damage.
I had that same situation happen personally. This goes back 35 years or so. It was the day of my mother-in-law's funeral. And at that time, we had 8 large trees in our yard. And our house is on a corner, so the trees were along the edge of both 2 roads. We came back from the funeral, and a huge branch from one of the trees had fallen and completely crushed my neighbor's car, destroyed the whole thing. And I was not aware that the tree was weak. But fortunately, the insurance company paid off in full because they determined that inside the tree it had rotted. I hadn't seen it, but it was my responsibility, and so they paid the neighbor.
Wow.
But
All right.
it was, come back from the funeral and you see the tree and the neighbor's car crashed down. You think,
Wow.
this is really a great day.
Can it get any worse?
I avoided that in my instance because when I bought my house, Capwell Street was not developed yet. It was just woods. And so I had a maple that was probably 50 feet tall right against the back lot line. And then they cleared all the woods out and built houses within a year of us moving in. And it took about 10 years where this tree was straight. And I noticed because of north winds and on winter storms, the tree went from straight up to
Bent.
about a 15-degree tilt to the whole thing because the root structure down below was weak enough that it was being pushed further and further down, except it was leaning directly towards the center of my house.
Oh, great.
So before it ever got there, I said, my wife and I looked at it and said, we need to cut this tree down.
Time to bring it down. Okay.
Before we wake up with it in our lap. And so we just eliminated it because it would have fallen eventually, I'm sure, in a strong storm.
Absolutely.
A good nor'easter would have taken it down. So
All right, down in Providence, instead of building a new Mount Pleasant High School, they're going to try to renovate it. Now, this building, as I look at the story, is 90 years old. You've all seen Mount Pleasant High School, right?
yes.
Yep.
Okay, it's right on Mount Pleasant Avenue. There you go.
Golf at Triggs.
That's right. So they had a groundbreaking ceremony, and it's going to cost $110 million.
No, it's not.
That's what it says, John.
I don't care. It's going to cost $150 million.
Oh, well, okay. It's a $110 million upgrade, which will include state-of-the-art labs for robotics, engineering, and career and technical education programs. The renovation will also include updated gym, auditorium, and cafeteria. The project is expected to be completed by 2027. Officials say the project is a key part of a $1 billion plan to transform and modernize school facilities across the city of Providence. Wouldn't it just be better to just knock this thing down? I mean, this thing is... I can't believe it hasn't fallen down, and just build something new.
That's my point, because I was working on the building committee that did the Lincoln High School, where we did we had a choice of tear down a building, build a new one, renovate the old one, or do a combination. Renovate some, tear down the old, and build new. And so we tore down some of the building and built new, and we renovated a whole nother section. And the moment that the architects get in there and they start evaluating it, you fail to recognize all of the weird things that have been done over the years. And so the utilities that go through walls and holes in the floors, and you're trying to replace windows, but somebody did something. All of those things invariably will add probably, I mean, I'm exaggerating when I say 150. It might be 120, 125.
All right.
It adds cost that you can't anticipate. The same thing happened when they added the police station extension for the back of Lincoln Town Hall, where the police station was half a part of the front of the building. They added a section and they renovated the front. And they went to do some wiring for technology. We have a change order. You have to pay us more money because we have to go through this wall or that wall. We can't do this. The drainage doesn't work there. The roof needs this there. And invariably, when you do these renovations, you start scratching your head saying, why didn't we just blow it up and start from the ground? And I don't know. I don't think any architect ever truly considers all of the ramifications of taking old buildings and renovating them. It's very expensive.
Okay. It doesn't say in the story. What's that?
Why do we need the renovations? Now, it's been a long time since I walked through a modern school. When I go to vote, it's at the school of the Harris School in Woonsocket, which must have been built probably about 20, 30 years ago.
It was built, yes, in the
late 90s?
90s.
All right. And just walking through there to get to the voting station, it looks, with the exception of the halls being a little bit wider, it looks very similar to the junior high school that I went to over on Park Place, which is now abandoned. What does a building like the one on Park Place didn't have, or what does the new high school 50 years ago, have that the one on Park Place didn't have, and why do we have to build a new one?
Well, the one at Park Place, if you want to get into it, if they were to renovate it, like where they're going to have to deal with at Mount Pleasant, the doorways into the classrooms don't meet fire code because they probably open out into the hallway.
Yeah.
They probably may not meet ADA, so they'll have to be widened. In the case of Park Place, the doorways didn't meet fire code because you have to have a door that opens such that it does not extend into the hallway to block access for people walking or escaping the building in a fire. It has to have an inset so that it opens into a space of its own. That's one thing. That means every doorway has to be modified in the building. The wooden floors, highly fire hazardous. When we were doing technology, going from the newer junior high school section to the old high school section,
right?
Again, had to get the utilities through the walls. They had to drill 8-inch holes to put PVC through to run conduit through the buildings, through walls that were 2 feet thick, a foot on one side, a foot on the other side. It's just extraordinarily expensive to coordinate modern accommodations into these buildings. And then handicap accessibility, the bathrooms all have to be completely restructured. So it becomes easier to just find a space to put a new building up and then let somebody convert that into apartments or something. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out very well.
Right.
But
and Mount Pleasant, like I said, is almost 100 years old. So there's going to be a lot of renovations they got to do there.
Except every doorway, probably.
Yeah.
That's right. At the very least, you already know that's got to be done. The very least.
They've got high ceilings, I'm sure.
Yes.
So they'll probably have to.
Well, it looks like a castle.
They'll have to do something with drop ceilings. If they have tin lining on the roof ceilings, they'll have to take that out.
But I also wondered, do the people that come out, that the historic people come out and say you can't knock this down? It's got historic value.
Oh yeah, then there's that. The
And that's-
Historical Society will come out there and evaluate
Say
the
we love
building
it
to
so
see whether or
much.
not there are certain aspects of it that require maintenance as a historically valued aspect to the building
Yeah.
that must be maintained.
Okay. I always thought there was enough. There's certainly enough room, especially if they just cross the street and just go onto the campus of Rhode Island College. There's plenty of room right off Mount Pleasant Avenue to build right there. But that's just my thoughts on that.
There's enough front yard to that building. They could build a whole new building
Right in front of it. Well, they
before
could do that.
tear it down.
They could do that too. Well, I didn't know if that was going to take away parking or not. Plus,
Park
they have
in the
that-
back instead of the front.
They have that decrepit football field in the back and to the side of it too.
The stadium?
Yeah, I don't even think it's used anymore.
Fine.
But anyway,
Maybe they could-
but they're not
maybe-
going to do that. They're going to renovate.
Maybe the 110 million will include an artificial
a new.
surface.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
I did see that
Yeah.
the Mayoral Academy in Woonsocket which had purchased the Our Lady of Victory School
Yes.
over on Spring Street, has plans to
Tear it down,
tear it down,
put a new
and
building
build a larger one.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All righty. It's time for another break here on the Coffee and Program. So we're going to send things back over to Bob, who's going to read another scintillating commercial from his law office. So go right ahead there, Bob, and try to make your elementary school English teacher proud.
Good Lord. And she was a lovely lady, too. Mrs. Rogers. Okay. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. The second case I'd like to discuss with you this morning involves the great American pastime of baseball and is known as Sullivan versus Wilmington Park, and it goes back to 1950. Wilmington Park owned a baseball field which was adjacent to 13th Street in Wilmington, Delaware. An average of 68 games were played in the park each baseball season, and during those games an average of 16 to 18 foul balls would come outside of the park and land in the area of 13th Street. One afternoon, while walking along 13th Street, the plaintiff was injured when hit by a ball. The plaintiff brought litigation seeking compensation for his injuries. The plaintiff did not contend that the ballpark was the insurer of the safety of the people using the highway adjacent to the park, but rather that the defendant, as a landowner, had a duty to exercise reasonable care in the use of its land to prevent the injury to travelers lawfully using the highway adjacent to the park. The case went to trial without a jury, and the trial justice found for the plaintiff, writing, "The inherent nature of the game of baseball, such as to require the landowner to take reasonable precautions for the protection of the traveling public. And what precautions are reasonable must depend upon the facts and circumstances of the particular case. Only those precautions are required which are inherent to the nature of the game and its past history, and in the particular location make necessary for the protection of the person lawfully using the highway. Under the circumstances, it seems clear that although the defendant took precautions, the defendant should have known that they were insufficient to protect the public, because 16 to 18 balls a game were landing in 13th Street. Therefore, the defendant was liable for the injuries to the pedestrian. If you'd like to discuss legal matters with me, please call my office for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. The disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. And in the future, maybe I can coerce my legal assistant, who does all the research, to read these commercials for me. Thank you.
People still try to do that, Bob, and they try to sue the Boston Red Sox because they park across the street from the Green Monster on Lansdowne Street when a home run gets hit and it goes through their window of their car. And they try to sue the Red Sox for damage to fix their car. And it's always, no, you parked there, you knew you were going to a game, you knew this was a possibility. So
I imagine
it never gets.
The Red Sox also have some protections up so that
they do.
normal games don't.
And there are nets up and things like that to try to catch the ball, but sometimes the balls just hit too high. And
Okay.
it's just, or too far, and it's going to happen.
But it's not on a 16 to 18 game basis.
No, it's on 182 game. It's on an 82 game basis.
No, but I mean they don't have balls leaving Fenway Park and damaging cars 16 to 18 times a game.
No, that would be unusual.
Okay, so it's one or two, maybe.
Maybe a per game.
Right,
But
okay.
it's still a challenge. All right, more Coffee and coming up. Please stick around.
This is ON Radio.
Actual choice will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
My name is Yvette Houle, and I'm from Holy Trinity Parish. I would like to let everyone know that we are holding our annual Christmas Bazaar in our parish hall at 1371 Park Avenue, Woonsocket, and it is handicap accessible. The date is Saturday, November 8th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Featured will be many booths with handmade and crafted items, baked goods, penny social, gift certificate raffle, special raffle, split the pot, and themed baskets. Santa will be there to take photos as well as giving him your wish list. Our kitchen will be open for lunch, which will include the popular dynamites, hamburgers, hot dogs, fries, onion rings, and Venus de Milo soup. Any questions? Give me a call at 766-5663.
ON Worldwide.
It is Coffee In here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder, Sue Tessier McKenzie, John Ward as well. All right, we're back to Darwin, okay? Darwin Awards again?
I love Darwin Awards.
All right. Several high school students in New Jersey are being suspended for 2 weeks following a recent online post in which they reportedly discussed dressing as kids from the Holocaust and as Nazi leader Adolf Hitler for Halloween. So you got to be careful about what you post online. You know, it's not all free speech, Bob. It's not all. People are going to see it, and then if you're going to do something stupid, you may have consequences.
I think that was an unfortunate thing for those kids to do. It's sort of
yeah.
analogous to what the young Republicans apparently have been
with their
doing
text
recently.
messages. Idiots.
What are the young Republicans doing?
God.
Have I missed
You
it?
missed the news.
Politico, I think it was Politico, which is a liberal context, published something, 2,900 pages of email communications between various members of young Republicans.
Republican groups around the country, New York, Texas, other places.
Which were very virulent in being anti-Semitic, anti-race.
They were racist, they were anti-Semitic, they were talking about admiring Nazis and wanting to kill people and gas chambers and the whole bit.
Really?
It was,
I hadn't
disgusting.
heard about that. Okay. The school superintendent down there in New Jersey says they're taking immediate and decisive action about the post. She said they are viewed as anti-Semitic and maybe it could be a hate crime too as well. I guess that's a possibility.
Well, a hate crime is not a crime by itself.
Well, okay.
It's an enhancement of an existing crime.
Right. Now, is this a hate crime, Bob? This is in Michigan. Is it Michigan? Yeah, Michigan. Okay. A man is facing charges following a road rage attack, which included a chainsaw. Usually they get out with tire irons. To swing at each other. No one gets out a chainsaw and says, "I'm coming after you." Yes, Bob?
You don't recall the case then that goes back about 25 years where
in Rhode Island?
In Massachusetts, on Route 95, I believe it was, a road rage incident where the defendant got out of the car, opened the trunk of his car, and shot the other person with a crossbow.
Yes,
Oh, now that does sound familiar.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Okay.
That individual went to jail.
Okay.
I think he's up in Walpole.
This incident in Michigan happened last week when a woman allegedly pulled out in front of a driver, which sent the man into a rage. The man, identified as 68-year-old Leonard Yonkman, then pulled in front of the woman, causing her to crash. Yonkman is accused of then grabbing a chainsaw from his truck. But after the chainsaw didn't start, come on. He assaulted the woman by hand. Oh, I'm just going to punch you. Including grabbing the woman by her throat. Yorkman faces multiple charges, including assault with a dangerous weapon and assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder. I guess that's a rule or a law there in Michigan. So if you're threatening someone, Bob, with a chainsaw, even though the chainsaw is not on, it's still a crime.
That's true.
Okay. Have you heard of doing great bodily harm less than murder in Rhode Island? Is that a?
I'm not aware of
law
that as being a law that way. No, I would.
Yeah.
I would think you'd be great bodily harm. You'd be charged with maybe attempted murder or something along those lines.
Can you be charged with attempted murder if the chainsaw didn't start?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I would think so because
You attempted to.
If he said you grabbed her on the neck. Didn't he?
Well, Well, would that be
there's a
attempted
start.
murder? Okay.
Choking someone to death.
Pretty bad, huh?
Wow. What the frig is wrong with people?
I
My
saw.
God.
Speaking of what's wrong with people, what's wrong with judges? I saw that the judge in Washington D.C. Let the 2 kids off with just probation that had taken that Doge kid that's 20-some years old that was working for Musk. I forgot. He had that bad nickname, something boy, and or I think it was Big Balls they called him, and he was dragged out of his car and beat up by 2 guys in Washington D.C. and they were arrested and charged and went to trial for assault. And there's pictures of the guy
guilty?
all bloodied on the side of his, sitting at the side of his car, and they were given probation
1 year, 2 year?
because the judge didn't want them to have to go to prison.
Because they're good kids, right?
Of course.
And we don't want to ruin their lives.
Yeah, those
Of
are my
course, they
favorites.
just beat the crap out of people because they don't like them.
All right. I've been hearing this over and over, at least for the last maybe 6 months to a year. But this kind of solidifies it. A new report says Memphis is the most dangerous city in the United States to drive in.
It is.
I was making plans a few years ago because I wanted to go to Graceland. And now it's like, forget it.
Well, it's like any city. It depends on which neighborhood you're in.
Okay.
And frankly, I don't think
Well, if you're
Memphis,
from out of town,
from
I mean,
everything I've heard, and having driven through both, and actually stopped in one of them to go to a store and get some gas as I was driving across the country with my son. We didn't stop in Memphis. We stopped on the other side of the river, which is West Memphis.
And that's okay.
Which actually has the reputation as probably, I don't know, right up there with Beirut in 1984. It's a
is this
very
organized
dangerous
gang
little
violence
city.
or just?
It's just random criminal violence like the south side of Chicago.
The study
Gangs
by Consumer Affairs used data from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to determine which cities were voted worst to drive in. Memphis came out on top. Knoxville comes in at number 2. The organization based its ranking based on the number of deaths related to crashes per 100,000 people. Memphis has been number 1 in the list for the past 3 years.
That's not cultural violence. That's just dangerous roads.
It's just bad driving, yeah. So I don't know what's going on with the drivers in Memphis. They're just not very good. Okay.
An accident is typically caused by the stupidity of one or more parties involved.
Okay.
That
makes sense.
Or ignoring basically ignoring the rules.
one or more parties involved, stupidity.
Stupid is as stupid does.
That's right. We just got a few more minutes to go, and John, we're going to throw money at the problem because that's probably going to work.
That solves the problem all the time.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Can John and I become a problem and you'll throw money at us?
Well, not me. The state's
I'm a problem and nobody's throwing money at me. So
the State Department of
I
Education,
believe in cash and carry.
The State Department of Education, the Rhode Island State Department of Education, is awarding nearly $1.4 million in grants to be shared among the 38 communities of Rhode Island. Now, there's only 39 in Rhode Island. Who gets left out? I don't know. It doesn't say.
New Shoreham?
for the reason, and we'll try to guess which one.
Well, it just says the money will be used to improve math skills and student attendance as part of the state's Math and Attendance Matters campaign. So we're just going to throw money at it, John.
$65,000 coming to Woonsocket.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know how it's going to help attendance, but
Yeah, I was.
unless you're going to pay people to go to school.
Planning to use the money on that's going to improve? Is this increased teacher salaries or?
It's probably stipends for coaches who are going to be available, or for after-school programs that they will pay a stipend to the teachers for doing it, and the state will fund that.
But they're already paying them a stipend to coach and
so
They're going to pay them more.
Maybe there'll be more. I don't know.
The Commissioner of Education doesn't really come out and say much other than saying Rhode Island students continue to make steady gains because not only does the state believe in their potential, it invests in their education. Okay, that's just
steady gains. Is that related to Riley Gaines?
I don't know.
You know, these are the things that always remind me. And you remember the movie Stand and Deliver? Jaime Escalante out in California that took his urban poor children that were in his high school class and turned them into students who were taking AP courses in calculus and was succeeding in the state tests.
How?
Well, you don't remember the movie. It's a great movie. If you got YouTube or something, you can go look it up. It's a great movie. But in that movie, it's at a time when there weren't really computers around, and so towards the latter half of the movie, he goes to the principal's office and he's standing there, and the secretary says, "Oh, we've gotten our shipment of computers," and his response was, the line in the movie was, "Yep, that'll do it." You know, that's what this stuff reminds me of.
All right,
we got everything fixed.
All right, we're throwing money at it. Yep, that'll do it. All right, Bob, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for inviting me. Hope to be with you next week.
And enjoy your high school reunion.
Thank you.
You want to say how many years?
60 years.
60th high school reunion.
Yes, I'm very pleased. Bob Lowe and Karen and other people that have been working on it, and it should be a lot of fun.
All right, well, have a good time. All right, Sue, thanks for coming in as well.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the week.
All right, and same to you there, John.
Thank you very much. Have a great week. Enjoy it while it gets chilly.
Right. All right, stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do You Remember's coming up in a few minutes.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street.